Video will briefly describe how MSC handles tender ports where the ship anchors in the sea, not next to the land, and how passengers are transported from the boat via tender boat to the port and the cruise port. Hello everyone, my name is Fatima Mahmood. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I hope you can see and read this image. If you can't, email me and I will send it to you via email. Basically, what you're looking at is the daily program, and you receive it the night before, and it tells you what's going to happen on the next morning and the next day. I didn't know that Grand Cayman Island was a tender port. I could have researched it, but I didn't. If you know of an online list that shows all the tender ports in the Caribbean or in the world, please link that in the comments below. But one way besides this to find out that a port is a tender port is if you talk to your shopping guides that are on board. They will tell you which ones are, and they'll tell you different things about different ports before you arrive and before you get your daily programs, which you get after dinner in your cabins. Here, the night before in your cabin, you're receiving a notice that the next day's port is a tender port. The ship is going to anchor, and then the passengers will be ferried on boats in between the ship and the cruise port back and round trip whenever they need it during a certain time range. It's a complimentary service, but you have to actually pick up a ticket, and you go to a specific location the next day. This time it's a sports bar, deck 8. It can vary from ship to ship, cruise line to cruise line, and you can start getting your tickets at 6 a.m. So you don't have to worry about the return from the port to the ship because that's just happening at regular intervals. You don't need a ticket. What you do at the port is you show your cruise card that lets you into the port and then lets you into the correct terminal to get back on the tender boat to go back to the ship. They're doing this, get your ticket at 6 a.m. from a particular location, then you'll be in a numbered group, and when your group is called, then you get to go to the exit where the tender boat is and get on. Do you really need the tickets? No. I think in practicality, would they be enforced? Probably not. But I think obviously it's there for crowd control. It's there. I'm sure they know the passenger quantity of every ship, and they want to plan accordingly with that. But they, of course, if you look on the reverse, when they're returning, they don't take that into account because you don't need a ticket to go back. So they're not crowd controlling for that. It is what it is. Thing is, if you buy an excursion, as it says, if you buy an MSC excursion, then you get a special group number and you go with your group onto the tender boat. All this is said that the tender boat process just adds a whole lot of time to the disembarkation. And it's not because the boat ride takes that long, but it's you have a line to go from the cruise ship to the tender boat, and then you're in another line one by one to get off the tender boat and go into the port. And then double that for when you return. Find out ahead of time if you have a tender port and plan your day better. I'd plan my day better. I wouldn't have left the Grand Cayman cruise port that early. I thought if I go back, eat some food on the ship, I'd have enough energy to go back on the tender boat and go back to the cruise terminal and explore some more. Don't do that. With a tender port, expect to be out as much as you can until you're required to be back on the ship. The gangplank goes straight onto the tender board. There's the Celebrity, there's Grand Cayman Island. Wanted to show you what it looks like on the tender boat going to the port. You get great views of the water. There are multiple levels. There's lower levels and upper levels to figure out where you want to sit. But the lower you sit, the closer you'll be to the exit to get off faster. And you can hear how loud it is on the tender boat. Showing you this scene so you can see that there's just benches for seating and there's no seat belts or restraints. It's all sort of this flat bench. Thank you for watching my video. I'd love to hear from you on email at fmahmood@wellesley.edu. You can also find me on LinkedIn at that address. And if you do send me a connection request, please go ahead and send me a note. Before you go, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. And please go ahead and watch my next video. Thank you.